Morning, team. Morning. Just catching up with everything going on here. Sorry. If I look a bit weird on days today, it's because I'm heavily medicated. Hurt my back and neck. Cannot move here at all. It's completely seized up. Old rugby injury showing its dirty head again, unfortunately. Can't remember the last time it was this bad, so might be a trip to the doctors coming up. Hopefully put off surgery a long time. Hopefully can still put it off. Okay, anyway. Oh, I can barely turn here to see the chart. Let's have a look. Let's get into the dailies. Oh my god. All right, here we go. Daily chart. So far, inside bar with overnight or London failed breakdown of previous day low. All right, that would have been a really nice short. If you were trading London, Asia into London, you probably took that. That was a very, very nice play. We washed some highs, rolled over, took out the lows, rebalanced some of this. This was the play I would have been looking for today, probably. All right, so the fact that we've done that and we're holding previous day low becomes key now. Okay, because two options happen. Well, three options. We continue to consolidate here in a range-bound market. We do a failed breakout and trade inside. We do a failed breakout and trade inside, or we get a breakout retest and continuation higher, or breakout retest and continuation lower, maybe into this gap, if not this gap, right? So those really are what I'm watching, and I don't have a bias particularly. I'd like to see a deeper, I'd like to see a deeper retrace because I think it offers a better trade for us, both on the short side and buying it back. You can see here on the hourly, all right, we keep rejecting up here at the moment. All right, so the question is this a bear flag and we get one of these in a deeper drive to reprice some of this week's action, or do they reclaim base up here and go back up to the upside? All right, you can see yesterday we left point of control here. I would say so far into value area low, let's call it 320, we have trapped buyers. These are the guys that are trapped from yesterday. All right, so if we keep rejecting 320 up to point of control 350, there's potential for a retest of this low. If we stay heavy, we go lower. Am I on the right chart? Yeah. If we start reclaiming yesterday's value area 320, 350, and we start basing here, you've got this inverted head and shoulder for the drive out to sweep. All right, those are the main two things I'll be looking at in the morning drive. Okay, so let's just set this down here so we know where it is. This value area low. This is old point of control. All right, so watching those on the slightly lower time frame, you can see it right here. All right, so if we can keep rejecting into 61, something like that, it's looking pretty good so far. Then if we keep rejecting, maybe a short back down, covering some into the low, because there's no guarantee of a breakdown. If we break down, we can always add on for the move lower. So those are the kind of plays I'm looking for this morning. If we reclaim, obviously that goes out the window and we're looking long. Overall, we're still bullish. We're bullish consolidation. It just depends if this is the start of a deeper move or not. Those are the big questions. Having a look at the VIX. VIX found a bid. All right, we gapped up overnight, gapped up 19, looked at 1930, come back and back test. We're now holding between previous day high and previous day close, but a decent move up on the VIX. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna have to move all my ETF charts around. Oh, nothing worse than back and neck pain. I've had arthritis in my left shoulder since I was 26. Floating bones in there. I'm avoiding having it pulled out, and it's probably going to have to come out at some point. Okay, looking at the spiders, you can see quite clearly what underneath that old range from yesterday. If we keep rejecting sort of 8650s, we're going to move lower. If they start reclaiming those 8650s, 87s, then there's a move back up to previous day high. So it's nice and clean on the spiders, I would say. Same sort of thing on the ES. You're watching those lows. Where's my crosshair gone? You're watching those lows at 91s all the way up to 900s. All right. If we keep rejecting that, potentially back test the overnight low, but we'll have to see how it goes there. QQQ is a little bit more messy, but it's already starting to reprice. I'd say that previous day high level looks fairly key on the Qs, which is rejecting pre-market so far. If we continue to reject it and roll over, then there's that deeper pullback. If we start reclaiming it, then we're going back for highs. Same story. All right, let's show you the mag. I've not looked myself yet either. Let's move this to a 5-minute chart. All right, weak, gapping down underneath previous day low on Apple. This is your pivot here, 209s that you can mark in. Microsoft, gapping down, but finding a bid in front of previous day low. All right, so it's going to try and retest this old range here. Yesterday's VWAP, 552, reclaim 552. We go up to the high, previous day high. We reject 552. We're going to probably react and go and check pre-market low. Weak on Amazon, underneath previous day low. Lots of liquidity here, 206 down to like 205.66. Break those, we go deeper. You can see it's a mixed bag right now. Very mixed bag. Goog repricing the whole move that I'd said was absolute nonsense. 167. I said this was a buy down here. If you bought that, well done. All right, easy, easy, easy money. That is a massive overreaction for no reason. Meta, if the charts want to hurry up and catch up, there we go. Gapping down. Again, this is a bit like the ES, gapping down. There's old demand, now becomes supply. They're trapped. If we reject that, we go lower. Oi, Nvidia gapping down, trying to find a bid off previous day low. PDC, PDH will be key on Nvidia. If it rejects it, we come and test the lows. If it reclaims it, then you get this inverted head and shoulder. All right, if it reclaims up here, if it rejects this, these are the trap buyers around here. If it rejects this, we can come back down. Potential relief in the market. Tesla, same kind of thing. You can see trap buyers yesterday up and above here. So far rejecting. As long as that rejects, there's a move lower under here to drive down, reclaim, inverted head and shoulders. All right, those are the options this morning. Across the market, really, most of the market's looking sort of fairly similar, apart from Google, which has relative strength right now. Yeah, this level here is going to be key. This into here, somewhere around here. All right, do we reject in there and start to rotate? Okay, and that would be partials into these levels and runners for deeper. And if we break down, we can add on. And if we reclaim, we go back long all the way back upside. If we base up here, then we're thinking about longs. Let's get through some good mornings. Oh my gosh. And then I'll have a look at the book and see what's on it. Morning, Clint, Miguel, John, Aaron, Paul, Jeff, Coop, Chris, Christy, Thumper, Brandon, TR, Vince, Marek, Juan Carlos, Mike, Alan, Phenom, Ash, Jesse, Trentry, DK, Myron, Abe, Mark, Zach, Ken, Alex, Callan, Julian. Good morning, everyone. See some of you saying Trump is talking. Is he? He should be back in the States now, I believe, but I'll have a look. Let's just check. On my labby, good morning, my friend. Let's just check financial juice. I can barely turn my neck. Where are we up to? Round table talk. Business inventories. I'm just seeing what's coming. Bar speaking later as well. Fairly clear for the rest of the day. Other than this, yeah, just Trump talking now, I think. All right, make sure you go through your daily checklist, which I would fail considerably today. All right, are you feeling fit and able to trade? No. No is the easy answer, so I'll have to size down. No way I'm linking my accounts today. Medicated and in pain, definitely not linking accounts, might not even trade. But if an opportunity is there and it's obvious, I will try and take it. So go through your checklist. Are you fit and able to trade? Are you on tilt? Did you go on tilt yesterday? Have you done your morning meditation or gone for your morning walk or gone to the gym or whatever you need to do? Had your coffee? All the usual things, they are important. Your daily routine is important. It's an important part of you trading. If you're not checking in with yourself, you're already setting yourself up to fail. Not every day will be a trade day, both due to the markets and due to how we feel. Make sure you are in control right now of your emotions. There you go, like Paul saying daily cold plunge. Morning Ramus, morning Mindful Matters, morning Capt, Jimbo, Omalabi, good morning everyone. Just checking in here, see if there's any news come through on this. We have 3 minutes to the open, plenty of time. No need to rush the open. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Got a feeling this feels nasty. It feels probably the worst I've had for a good 8 or 9 years, unfortunately. Let me just see. All right, so we're gapping down in this market. We're holding previous day lows. We're playing inside of yesterday's range. We expect a choppy market condition due to that until it proves otherwise. We're going to watch the VIX to see if the VIX starts to rotate and roll lower, back down to like the low 18s and under 18, we're definitely thinking about the long. If the VIX is going to keep holding its gap fill and start driving out back towards these highs that are put in 19 break up to 1920 and then 1938, I'm considering, is there a deeper move short in this market? Having a look at the book's kind of spread out. There's still that small sell order at 21,500. You would have seen yesterday a lot of orders got filled yesterday. There were some big players on the book that were legit. I was away from my desk when there was that swipe up in the afternoon. It went and filled probably 1,500 orders sat around 400. They were all filled, like 1,000 order and the others in like two little stacks. They all got filled. And there was a big player towards the end of the day. I didn't see if he got filled either, but I would imagine he did. So probably a decent amount of profit taking yesterday as we approach levels of consolidation where we broke down from on the daily that we've been talking about. So there is room to go higher now if it wants, based on the daily Bollinger Band. We are bullish overall. I will remind you that the daily and weekly is very bullish right now. It really depends if we're going to put an hourly lower high, lower low for a deeper rotation, for a deeper higher low on a daily. So are we going to produce a daily pullback is the question, or are we going to consolidate just to go and rip higher? I'm about to open here. 2, 1. Here we go. It's the morning open. All right, most of the market red other than Goog. All right, Goog, the only one not red right now. So let's see what we get here. So far, can't get through value area high, can't get back to point of control from yesterday for a back test. And we have overhead supply from those buyers who were trapped yesterday. So if we're going to push and fail, I am definitely interested in a short. We're going to push and fail this morning. Decent sell volume coming in this first candle. Decent sell volume. If we're going to get heavy this morning, I would rather see a push out and a failure. Remember, gap fill is all the way up at 39, I think it is. Let's see how we act in this lower time frame algo. Yes, not finding a bid yet. Market staying sort of heavy across the board on the mag. Tesla 2.67% down, Nvidia 1% down, Meta just under 1% down, Google just gone red on the day, Amazon 2.89% down, Microsoft just over 1/3% down, Apple over 1/3% down. SPY trying to find a bid here off previous day low. Remember, watching SPY to see if it rejects yesterday's bottom end of the range. Let's mark out this New York Open. Opens here. Let's add a New York view up on as well. All right. So back through New York Open. VIX trading back down to close its gap right now. ES and SPY and QQQ all having a push higher. And do they sweep all this liquidity and find a sell, or are we just going off to the races? Up, 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 up we go. Time will tell. Decent squeeze out here this morning, sweeping that liquidity now, coming into the value area low. Point of control from yesterday up towards sort of 50s. I want to see how and if we react there. If we get through that, we're probably just going to keep going all the way up to previous day close to close the gap to make an efficient market. Just inside range so far, inside yesterday's range. You have to remember that all the time. We're inside previous day high, previous day low. We're just inside range, and we have failed the breakdown underneath previous day low overnight. I would pay a little more attention to that if we do that in a New York session rather than an overnight session in general. And we did just sweep this liquidity here, still getting stuck around this value area low. If they start to respect this and find a bid, then maybe it's going to drive higher. If this was a squeeze out and they fail to find a bid, it might be the start of a rotation. Lots of questions to ask right now because we're inside. We're inside bars we expect. Chop, 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 chop. Trading into that top of the 5-minute block where we found sellers at the start of London. All of the market currently red. Oh my God, I cannot move my neck. This is very painful. India working with the US in direction of a joint statement on trade. All right, so India looking to do a deal soon. Any idea why Replicanto charges monthly? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I'm a trader. I don't. That's all I do. So SPY coming up to these key levels where it found bids yesterday. Does it get stuck here and rotate lower? If it doesn't and it starts reclaiming, we're probably going to go higher. If it gets stuck here, we're going to rotate lower. So big levels coming up on the spiders. SPY starting to find some sellers up here. Hasn't cleared out its pre-market high yet, but finding sellers here for now on the spiders. If they're going to sell this aggressively, this is where they're probably going to sell from. It did not sweep on the SPY yet, by the way. I am watching this very, very carefully now. This is a key sentiment change here if they're going to sell this aggressively. Back to VWAP and New York Open we go. Watching this for continuation or to find bids. Want to see how the market's going to react here. Are we going to start slamming? Big levels here. You can see it on the spiders. We talked about that level into 86.50 on the SPY. I want to see if we're going to break down here underneath 80s on NQ. Oh my gosh. My arm is so jammed up. I cannot move. If they can't hold a bid here, it feels like a deeper flush back down towards previous day low is probably going to come. Watching carefully if they're going to do that now. Looking like it's starting versus VWAP and New York. Starting to see them come in and sell this a bit more. I want to see if they flip flow zones or not really. If pops start to fail, we're going to get rotation. If ES starts to reclaim and SPY starts to reclaim, we're not going to get rotation. All of the market heavy, staying heavy, mag staying heavy. SPY finding a bid off the VWAP. For now, this area is sensitive area. You can see New York Open, VWAP, flow zones, value area, low, all around here. These are sensitive areas. It will need to make its decision. All right, so did SPY take out pre-market high? No, it didn't. It did on the ES, but not on the spider. So it's having one more drive up here. I want to see how it reacts here. If it reclaims and starts to look like it's got the strength to go higher, there will be a long, but really I'm thinking at the moment it looks like it's going to push and fail, but again, no position yet. Back to VWAP again. Pops are starting to fail here. If they can't find absorption here, pops are starting to fail. There is the chance for that rotation down to previous day low. The main indicator of this is watching SPY, and I'm also watching the VIX if I can turn my head enough to see if it can reclaim previous day high. If it starts reclaiming to drive higher, then you get better confluence here. How long have we got to the opening range? Are they going to let this go? Are we going deep today? That's the question. Remember, there's potential for a deeper pullback here in general in this market. We're bullish overall, so timing these are very hard, especially when we've done a failed breakdown of the low overnight. I would say ES and VWAP here probably fairly key. And is that previous day low? Yeah, and previous day low on the ES. I'd say if it starts letting go of that, there's a good chance we move aggressively lower. So far, it keeps coming down to it and finding a bid, and coming down and finding a bid over and over again. If it lets go of it, good chance of going lower. Good chance this is an hourly reprice to go lower. They're starting to sell this more aggressively now. Can't turn my head to see the book, unfortunately, today. It's just that bit too far for me. It's really painful. So it looks like they're starting to let this go. Lower time frame algo coming up here. If they start to let this go, we're going to drift down to previous day low. I'm looking for entries now to get involved in this for short continuation. That lower time frame algo, very sensitive through there. It should come and snap. There we go. Nice. And can we trade down to previous day low? Watching ES at VWAP very carefully. You can also just use a basic channel and trend line based on that pivot low overnight. Sort of a broadening trend line, really. Oh, jeez. Sorry, folks. Okay, seeing how we act here at New York Open, already took some money out there. Just a scalp to start. It's still very early in the day. If we're going to get heavy, I want to join, but I want to be cautious as ES and spiders are protecting previous day low currently. And VWAPs, everything's there pretty well stacked. You have time to just let this build out liquidity and prove itself. Yes, reclaiming PDL, holding VWAP, same on the spiders. Big levels. How long we got? Another 3 minutes until you set that orb. You can wait for your orb if you want. You can also wait for that 10 a.m. reversal, what that might look like on an H1, H4, where they will cause the pain on the pivots. Market's still all red. Staying heavy. VIX starting to push through previous day high now, which is what you want to see. You want to see it through previous day high and break out of that downtrend. It's got like a giant flag is what you would want to see on the VIX for confluence here, and you need all pops to fail. I'd say that 5,900 seems like a bit of a magnet here on the ES, and I wonder if it needs to peek through it before anything else. Is that last pop enough for them to get under previous day low now on the ES? A decent drive up, which started to fail. Still just trapping, but there's lots of liquidity being built here. You can see lower time frame algo, New York Open, VWAP, flow zones, value area low, ES still holding previous day low, so not interested in this short right now. Had one attempt at it, just waiting now. Don't mind getting back in if it proves. Don't want to get caught in a squeeze out here into the new to the top of the range. Oh, something is going to give here soon. You don't want to be caught in it. Liquidity here on the book. 320, 325, 330, 335, all the way up to 350 right now. That 350 would be point of control from yesterday if they're trying to get filled up there. ES still holding, very strong hold of VWAP and previous day low there. VIX coming back inside, previous day high as well. So nothing here yet. They're still just building out internal range in this New York session. Kind of ugly, to be honest. Microsoft going green. Opening range now set. Midpoint of that range. Ugly, ugly, ugly right now. Have to wait to see what they do now. You'd think ES will want to take those highs. Got like a double top there at 98, but so far can't get through it through the 900s. If it gets through 900s, it can probably back check 908. If it fails here, If it does a pop and a rotation, then that counter trend pullback might be in business, but so far no good. Back to VWAP and New York Open we go. Just a small range here this morning. 61 points is all we're playing with this morning so far until we get outside of it. We expect chop because we're an inside bar. I would expect a deeper pullback today, but it's just whether they're going to let it do it. Back down to the opening range we go again, towards the lows. ES, that previous day low, and VWAP will remain key. VIX trying to build up here. Back to lower time frame algo. Watching as we trade into these lows on the ES, into the previous day low, watching to see how it responds here, if they're going to find a bid or not. If they don't find a bid, remember, SPY keeps tapping into supply that we talked about this morning pre-market. 86.50 is the supply level. You can see where those buyers from yesterday are trapped. If we're going to let go here, there's a deeper wash coming. Big ifs, but that's what I'm looking at. Starting to attack that previous day low level on the ES now. Are we going to break this opening range? There we go. Joining this short to see how low we can go now. Don't want to see absorption. I just want them to let go all the way back down to previous day low if possible. Don't really want to see absorption here in this trend line. We've got a bit of a trend line on a 1 minute since this morning. If that starts breaking, I'm going to look for previous day low, previous day open at 50s, previous day low at 40s, high time frame algo, and the opening, the overnight low into 98s. This is looking better now. Just watch out for this trend line here to see if they find a little bit of a bid. I want to see every single pop get sold into now. I see every single pop get sold into. We're still internal range, so you have to be careful. We're still in an inside bar. If we stay heavy now, we might get that deeper rotation. So here's a retest of the orb. ES retesting VWAP and previous day low. You do not want to see them reclaim this. It will need to stay heavy versus this. Otherwise, you will not get continuation lower. Can you pick me up here? Are you going to pick me up here? I don't understand how I didn't just get filled on the orb there. I'm having to chase this a little bit now, which is annoying. Oh man, moving anything hurts. You can probably see how much pain I'm in. I was looking for a short against the orb and wouldn't pick me up even though it went through it. It's a bit weird. All right, ES back to, what is that level here? Lower time frame algo. Looks good to me for a continuation. Just want to watch this previous day open here. And then we have a trend line here as well. Since the morning open, you can see that white line. That's the trend line that's been holding all morning for an expanding range. VIX now straight through previous day high, testing its trend line as well. We want to just see fails here, folks. We just want to see this stay heavy now and get that deeper rotation. Into that trend line. Beautiful. Can we break it? Can we break previous day open? That's what we're looking for. All right, looking for continuation. Ideally down to previous day low for a partial, if possible. That partial would be into sort of 38s. And then see if we can get into 200s. Just want all pops to fail now this morning. Want to be careful as we get near this next 4-hour candle as well. So looking to take some profits before we get into this next candle if possible. Not a bad trade so far. You do not want to see ES reclaim VWAP and previous day lows, and make sure you're paying yourself on the way. This is still internal. This white line is your trend line from here. This is internal range. This was your failed breakout this morning. It failed to break down this morning. This is your H1 move up. This is the reprice of where buyers are trapped. This is the rotation. You need to see this to go lower now. If this starts reclaiming up here, you can't think about a short. All right. Remember, when we're playing these sort of higher time frame pullback legs, effectively playing counter trend on the higher time frame. It's not easy. You got to time it, and you got to pay yourself along the way. Oh, I can't even cough. Ah, fuck me. I'm gonna have to go doctors, man. This is bad. All right, yes, still beneath the view up and previous day low for now. How long we got? 9 minutes or so till that new H1, H4. Be very, very careful. As long as we stay heavy versus these levels, you're okay. But if it starts to reclaim, be very careful. This is what I sort of want to see on the H1. It drove up above the last H1 high. If we start breaking beneath the next H1 low, then we get an engulfing H1 bar. That's very, very bearish. It's the type of thing I would want to see. You just might see a bit of nonsense before it. All right, can we get that new low now through that trend line? VIX is breaking out of its downtrend. I want to see VIX break through 1905 ideally. Don't like the absorption I'm seeing on ES. I just want it to let it go here. This is the hard thing in this market. Like I said, playing counter trend on an inside bar. Very, very careful doing this. I would like to see continuation. Come on, ES, just let that go, please. ES coming back to back test, previous day low and view up again. If it reclaims this, all shorts are out. I'd be out of a short if it starts reclaiming. If it rejects it, then maybe continuation. Tricky thing now is we're getting very close to that new H1 and H4 bar. I do not like holding into those because this can be a manipulation to go higher then, and then you get caught in it. Even if it goes manipulation higher, you end up getting caught in it. It's not fun. Right back to point of control on the session. Gross. So ES reclaiming, out of this, waiting now. Waiting for next play now. Back towards New York open, back towards view up. Look at that squeeze all the way up. Couldn't even get down to previous day low on the Qs. Flow zone still not really expanding enough for that trend. I still think there's a chance to go lower. The biggest problem right now is the time. Look at ES, what a reclaim. Not willing to let go. They are not willing to let this trend go any deeper. By the feel of it, we've been up here for, what is this, the second day or third day? Third day, I guess, because we closed up here, spent yesterday up here, and in here again today. So far 3 days up in this range now. Are they going to look for one more squeeze higher on a daily? Who knows? And VIX getting rejected here. This feels like yesterday, maybe because it's OPEX this week. This feels like yesterday, just the chop already. I'll tell you what, I will not sit here until lunch today in the amount of pain I'm in to watch chop again like I did yesterday with you lot. If this does not offer what I want to see, I'm going to get off and try and get a doctor's appointment. Really? What news is there at 10 o'clock? Are you sure? Oh, business inventories, is it? Okay. Rejecting view up in New York Open for now. Are they going to trade lower now that they've done messing around? I have no idea. I don't know what they want to do right now. Looks like they're trying to trade it back down to where we just found a bid from. If they let go of this, maybe there's a deeper move. If they don't let go of it, then they can trap. If they're going to hold inside the opening range now, which is 77s, which is your opening range from this morning. There's a lot of faffing here for not very many points. Oh my gosh. It feels like bone on bone, man. It's that painful. It's so sharp. I know I need a piano key surgery on my left shoulder. I've needed it for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. All right, relative weakness here in the NQ. I'm going to wait for this new candle. If they start... look at this old H1. The H1 looks to me like it wants to move lower, all right, which is why we were playing for that move this morning, but they're just making it very, very, very difficult. It's okay, folks. I'll go after stream. Don't worry, I will look after myself. All right, back to that opening range low here. Relative weakness in the NQ versus the ES. ES is trying to bid up. VIX is just doing a dance as well. This feels very much like crappy OPEX type of play here, just burning calls and puts. It's kind of not what we want to see as futures traders. We like momentum and continuation, which we're not seeing in the chart either way for 2 days now. And what I would say is the last 2 days, the only traders which have had a lot of fun have been London. London traders just getting nice, smooth, easy action. And then in New York, we're left with absolute shite. It's just unfortunate. So if you're trading in Europe, the last few days, you've had some nice plays. Right, just over a minute left. Look at this H1 bar. Not looking very good, is it? Big wicks both sides right now. That's an indecision candle. This opening push looks good for the short. We're leaving a wick high here, but we want to see the market rotate and come down into here on that H1 bar. Right, come and clean everyone out. So far, it's being unwilling to do it. Maybe just let it do what it wants in this H1, H4, and then see where we are after that once it's done a nasty move again. I don't want to be caught. Even if this drives higher, I don't want to be shorting it. Even if it drives higher just to manipulate lower later, I don't want to be caught shorting it. So I'm just flat at the moment. Relative strength in the ES. Right, Qs are almost 0.5% down. ES only 0.25% down right now. And ES looks like it wants to drive back upside. SPY coming and testing that supply again, where those buyers were stuck yesterday. VIX can't hold a bid over previous day high, cannot get through its trend, looking fairly ugly. Might come down to PDC again. Nothing I want to trade in here. This is chop, 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 chop. And here we go, new H1 bar here. So came up to value area high there. These levels here are key, all right? If this H1 gets up here and holds, it's different. But if it gets up here, leaves a wick high, and we close low, that's what I'd be looking for. ES did just sweep everyone as well. It wants to trade that 900. Clearly, it needs to get to 900 for some reason, the ES. Very, very clearly. Traded all the way up to 99 and got stuck. We're building maybe an inverted head and shoulders here. That's what it's trying to do right now. And that's the top of the opening range. If we get through all these, then gap fill is up here, value area high up here, PDH up here if it really wants to get going. I guess the question is, was that London low sweep enough for them to trap enough shorts in when no one was really at the market yet? I guess that would be the question. There we go. So here's the drive back to the opening range high, building that move. ES is going for a gap fill. You can see it. It's got relative strength. It's just going to go and fill that gap. That's all it wants to do right now. So if we're going to base up and around here, then it's probably a long. Do I feel comfortable about taking a long midpoint of the range? Not really. This market's hilarious. VIX rejected trend line, back down to PDC. ES is going to fill the gap. That's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to go and fill its gap now. And the chop will continue. It means we're going to go into the top side of yesterday's range where we've built supply, and that is not an area I want to get long in. And I'm not going to short against momentum going upside, which basically leaves me with no trade until we break out of the range and retest it or failed breakout. All right, so we're looking right now. That's the play. If we continue, if ES closes the gap and NQ doesn't, and then ES rotates, then we can short the relative weakness in the NQ, which would be good. But right now, momentum's gone back upside, and this is the target that it's trying to get to. It's just if ES does it and NQ doesn't. I find it somewhat unlikely that we get up there on NQ, given that Tesla's 2.5% down, Nvidia's 1.20% down, Meta's 1.12% down, Google's 0.5% down, Amazon is 2.25% down, Apple is 0.84% down. The only one that could go red to green right now is Microsoft. Nothing else is anywhere near close to being able to do that. And guess what? VIX closed the gap. ES almost closed that. Didn't quite close the gap. You would think it would want to close the gap. It got very, very close. It might as well go and close it. Reclaiming 900s on the ES. Like I said, if this is going to be the H1 manipulation, it would take the highs and then fail. So it's already taken the highs. I would rather see ES close the gap and then we start failing if we're going to do that move at all. If we start like basing above 350s on the NQ, you just can't think short at that point. The reason for that is I'm just looking at the H1, right? This candle, this last H1 gross, we open up, we've swept this high. If we then close weak now in this H1 bar, if we leave a big wick here and we drive down, it'd be a nice short trade. If this H1 bar comes up here and on like an M15 and M5, we start basing. All right, we're back into choppy range up here. This is where everyone was trapped yesterday. I don't really want to long in supply. This is basically a red block. I'd need to wait for it to get outside of that supply for me to think about a long. The location for the long up there is terrible. I still think this wants to go lower, but it's just how it's going to set it up. I don't know right now. I will long if we break out of the range and pull back and hold, not before. You got a trade chief talking now as well. Fantastic. More people that love the sound of their own voice saying probably absolutely nothing important, just blabbering around an issue rather than just saying the facts. Google trying to go green here. It's flat on the day. Everything else nowhere near. Maybe Goog. You know, maybe Goog. If Goog goes green and starts breaking out from those levels it broke down from last week, it will be good for the market. They're still building that liquidity to go higher right now. I just need ES to close the gap and then see what we do. VIX has already closed the gap though. I'm gonna get a refill of the coffee. Oh my god. All right. All right, still inside this range, folks. 20 minutes away from the IB being set. You're near the opening range high right now. You have a just under 100-point range on the session. Nothing really happening right now. Feels like the market wants to squeeze out to close the gap on the ES. I still think there's potential for a deeper pullback in this market. It really depends on the H1, but I'm not going to front run it. We had one attempt earlier around here for this move. Didn't quite get to the target. It's okay. We've now started reversing, building liquidity this way. This will be the target for the longs, especially on the ES. ES looks more likely to do that move right now than the NQ does. I'm not going to do a dance in here today. Oh, I'm on the wrong chart. Trump is speaking. Fantastic. Just to add it in. If I was in charge of the world, I'd make a really simple rule. Shut the fuck up when the market is open. You're allowed to talk before the open and at the close. And then during the open, you have to be quiet. Okay, back to New York Open here. ES still not closed its gap yet. New York Open here, VWAP here. Midpoint in the range, ES back testing where it broke out from, holding flow zones on the 2-minute. This is the old supply level on the ES. If it starts finding a bid here, I think shorts are sort of gone for the day. If we start to fail here, there's potential for a deeper move. You're all saying that Trump is talking. John, well, I had issues with it yesterday, so I've swapped back. I've messaged the designer because I don't like it. Keeps printing this like weird white line, like a step line. You can see this step line. It's printing that step line for no reason. So until he fixes that, it won't be available yet. Once that's fixed, I think it's done. But yeah, I don't know what that step line is or what or why. He sent me a new version. I just haven't had a chance to make sure it works okay. Here's the dump. Oh my god! Please don't say you've just manipulated to knock us all out and not close the gap, and now we're going lower. Are you joking me? Are you going to make this that hard for us today? Yes, still not close the gap. So it got very close to closing the gap. Didn't close the gap. Our bias is to push a little bit lower. If a ceasefire could be reached today at a technical level, a meeting with Putin can be skipped. Zelensky. I don't know why that would be bad news for the market. Why are we dumping on that unless something else has been said? Very, very heavy here, this market. Very heavy. We're going to do that move now, aren't we? You can already feel we're going to do that move I was looking for all morning, back down to previous day low and let go of it. Back to the orb, ES back to VWAP. If it doesn't find a bid here, we're going to go lower. Like I said, this could be the H1 manipulation. Think about what the H1 is starting to look like. What I said, long wick, big body down. That's what we want to see. Feels like they're starting to manipulate it. I would much rather they had just closed the gap here on the ES before anything else, because then I'd know that the ES has got less reason to faff around at VWAP and think about going back upside again. Finding a bid at the bottom of the orb so far. I can't see any news hitting the wire. Has anyone got a link for this Trump interview? I cannot see it anywhere. You're all saying Trump's talking. I can't see it. It's not on my schedule either. If I can find it on here. He's in Abu Dhabi, is he? Is it that? All right, still inside this opening range. Finding a bid off the lower side of the opening range. Like I said, the big problem with ES right now, it's holding previous day low and it hasn't closed the gap. I'd feel much better about the short if ES just closes the gap and gets out of the way. Cannot play and dance in the middle of this range right now. I don't see Trump talking, by the way. I just see him in Abu Dhabi, like talking to the, I assume it's the Sheikh. Unless it's delayed, I don't see any comments. View up New York Open. The chop continues. Nothing's changed so far today. Failed outside of opening range high, if it will let me draw it. Failed outside of opening range low. Chop, 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 chop. No trade zone. Everything flat. Very much like yesterday. We're in burn the puts and calls for OPEX right now. That's what we're in. All right, stuck at VWAP here on the Qs. Stuck at New York Open. Market all red other than Microsoft, which is still 0.01%. What has got a chance of going green? Google's the only one. Nothing else is going green right now. ES and QQQ finding bids of previous day lows. I can see it on the ETFs. That's one thing I probably missed on that drive down. Now you can tell I'm in pain, not focused enough. We swept previous day low on the ETFs. I didn't see that. I'm going to be honest. It's probably because I'm medicated and still in pain. I did not see that divergence. Previous day low on the futures is down here. We actually swept it here. Okay, so I did miss that. Sorry, folks. This is what happens when I'm not 100%. We start failing under those, then I know all the cash, everyone who's cash from yesterday is out of money. Right now, they're all in the money still. All I've got right now is CNBC on loop. I don't see anything changing. There's no talk. Nothing's happening. I'm going to give this until the initial balance. If nothing happens before then, folks, I'm really sorry. I'm going to get off. I cannot sit here in this chair like this all day. Every pop starting to fail on ES, but it's still holding previous day low, and VWAP still holding high lows right now. Goog trying to find a bounce here. Maybe Goog can go green. Microsoft just about green. Everything else still heavy. Data low is down at 236. All right, from PPI if we're going to go for it. today or tomorrow at all. So far, we're sort of basing just above the data high from that 8:30 print. Heaviness trying to come into the market again. You can see it's just such a battle. Every time a seller comes in, it's being absorbed inside that opening range. They just won't let anything go. We're still in chop zone. This is a no trade zone. If we start letting go, we can think about that trade back down to previous day low, Globex low, and beyond that if it really wants to do it. But so far, nothing. This is like yesterday. So far, absolutely nothing. Back to VWAP on the ES, back to previous day low on the ES. Do they let it go? No one knows. Can we get some follow through to the downside and make an H1 bar that actually looks good? Are we going to start breaking down for once in this market to give a deeper pullback? Here's the opening range low test again. Watching this carefully now. Watching ES at previous day low and VWAP. I want to just see them let go of it. Just give up the ghost and move us lower. And then if there's some momentum, we can join in. And if there's no momentum, then we can't touch it. Absorbing it again there. There's not much on the book here either, folks. Like, book doesn't feel very thick today. Liquidity is upside right now, and it's not big. It's not like a huge number for it to gravitate towards. Nothing's happening between Trump here and Abu Dhabi. It's just on loop of them doing absolutely nothing. Trump's rush for AI deal in the Gulf opens a rift with China hawks. Some Trump officials want to slow Nvidia and AMD sales to the Middle East. People familiar? And the chop continues. Still inside your opening range. All right, if this indicator was being proper, you can see this is the opening range, but unfortunately, I don't know why these are on here. Nothing changing. Still inside opening range. Nothing to do inside the opening range. Finding a bid here. Like I said, ES has not filled its gap yet. Still holding previous day low. VWAP not playing inside this opening range. I'm just not. There is nothing interesting in here right now. Look at VWAP. Look at flow zones. Look at lower time frame algo. Look at the New York Open. Look at your opening range. There's nothing to do in here. We had an early attempt for rotation. Right, we had an early attempt for this. Held trend line. Now in here, still just here. Don't become the liquidity. Do not become the liquidity. All of you that are mega bullish, it's fine, but make sure you're looking left. Where are bulls from yesterday stuck? Right here. That is supply. If you're looking bullish, you haven't got a lot of room. You'd almost rather it do this right now. Right, if you struggle to see things like that, move to higher time frame. Where's your point of control? Where was volume? This is a D shape, and we're gapping down under it. So everyone in here is stuck. If we reclaim that, it changes. If you don't have that, use a TPO. All right, everyone, we can do a regular trading hours. All right, this is your point of control. This is where we spent most time yesterday. 350s, basically to 400s. That's where people are stuck from yesterday. Okay, that's where they're stuck. Just make it easy on yourself. If you can't see these things, just make it easy on yourself. Use the tools that are there. Oh, honestly, I've never coughed and had shoulder pain before. I had my first ribs out for sure. Mexico president calls US Republicans' proposal to tax remittance unacceptable. Yeah, Adam, we go over everything in the course, buddy. Lower time frame would just be like a 1 and a 5 minute, 15 minute even. When I'm talking about higher time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour, even 1 hour can be lower time frame. 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly. Too many people get zoomed into a 1 or 2 minute and they don't look left. They're just like, oh, I see a trend right now. For the last 5 minutes, we're doing this trend. No one gives a fuck about your trend for the last 5 minutes. Institutions are not looking at what the candles have done for the last 5 minutes. They are looking at the last few days of where people are stuck. The amount of traders who just fail to understand that and go, oh, we're going up, I'm buying. Where are you buying to? What are the levels? You have to understand what's your entry, what's your risk, what's the exit, right? It's really, that's what trading is. If you don't understand what your exit is and why it's there, your exit can't be, I'm buying here, I'm risking 10 points and I'm looking for 20 points. Okay, market doesn't care about your 10 or 20 points. Okay, market cares about the levels of where traders are stuck. So you've got to be trading those levels. This is a common mistake I see traders take. Like they put risk on and they're like, oh, I'm going to risk 15 points. But what if you need to risk 50 points to the swing low? It doesn't care about your 15 points. It's going to come 50 points to wash everyone out. Why is it going to care about your 15 points? So we've got to understand these levels. You can see spiders right now. If I can reach forward, I'll try and show you. SPY right now. Let's go to a 5 minute chart. This is why I keep talking about the SPY. It's really, really obvious. Where is everyone stuck from yesterday? We went range day yesterday, inside initial balance. These are the lows. These are the highs. Every bull who bought yesterday is stuck in here. That's why I don't want to be trading long in here. I'd rather they get outside of it and hold them for a continuation. If you get long in here and these bulls start to sell, you get liquidated. All right, because this can be what? This can be a breakdown, retest, liquidation. It can also be this, but I'd rather wait for it to prove it to me. So looking left and understanding the type of day we had yesterday is important. That's not digging anyone out in this stream at all. It's just something I see so common all the time, even on Instagram. And man, I need to come off that thing. It's just bullshit. Oh, look at me, made $50,000 in a 5-point move. Yeah, well done, mate. You took an eval with 30 contracts and took a 5-point move, and you're making it look like you know what you're doing. Like, it's laughable. Yeah, exactly. Jaking up one. Lower time frame algo right here. Higher time frame algo right here. When we do this dance between these algos, we build liquidity. When these algos are directional, right now they're kind of horizontal when they're directional. No, I don't use ICT. Do you think ICT created the algo? Is that what you think, Solomon? Because I'm telling you now, ICT didn't create shit. He didn't create an algo. He has nothing to do with the market makers. He didn't create the fair value gap. He didn't do any of it. And he's never even made money. All right. He's a good teacher. He uses stories to hook you guys in so that you understand how the market moves. He's a good teacher. He didn't do anything. All right. He didn't get kidnapped. He didn't speak to God. God didn't tell him how to make money from the market. None of that nonsense story happened. If you believe that, you're about as gullible as they come. If you think some guy on the internet, on YouTube, created an algorithm, you're mental. Did not create an algorithm. Just tell you what, walk into Merrill Lynch or Morgan Stanley or any of the big brokers, JP Morgan, and ask them what they think about ICT. They will say, who? And tell them that your theory on the algorithm, and they will just laugh. Did he really say that? Yeah, he said he got kidnapped. Kidnapped, blindfolded, chucked in the back of a car or a van, and then they taught him the secrets of the algo and that he created the algo to help them. And then God spoke to him and told him what to do. Hey, maybe he spoke to God. I'm not saying he didn't speak to God. That's fine. You're allowed to have religious beliefs. I'm not disrespecting any religious beliefs. But God, at no point did God say, hey, here's how we make money out of people in the market. Okay? That's not something, what we do here for a living is not something God invented. All right? If you believe in any form of God or spirituality or anything like that, surely it's full of love and giving and warmth. What we do here is about taking money from someone else. It's not very loving, is it, really? When you really think about it. All right? When you really think about what you do with that money is important. What you do with your time. Yeah, there's a reason he's on Telegram now and not on YouTube. People are starting to wake up to it. Even all these traders who have made money from his teachings have started to finally wake up. These like 21, 22-year-olds, even up to 30-year-olds. They're good traders. I've got no problem with them at all. They're good traders. They use his teachings well, but they understand he didn't make any of this. And they've come to their senses. There is no macro, all right? The macro is just H4 and H1 candle transitions. That's all it is. It's just making names up for stuff. Okay, here we go. Starting to see some heaviness come back into the market again. We're still inside that opening range. That's good, Bowden. Starting to come back down to the downside where we found bids this morning into this opening range. ES trading back into its VWAP. Markets staying heavy. Microsoft the only thing green right now. We're still in opening range. Nothing has changed at all. We did fail to make a higher high there, but we're still in opening range. All right, so no real weakness. You can make money from his teaching. They're like I said, I think he teaches well. Some of his theories are good. They're not his theories, but they're good. All right, his way of explaining stuff's important. How many of you have gone to like university or school or whatever? You know the difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher, because a good teacher, you are able to put in, what they teach you into practice. You understand what they're doing. A bad teacher, you cannot do it. You cannot dissect what they're saying and what they're teaching you. All right, so he's a good teacher in that lots of his students are able to understand what an imbalance looks like, where momentum comes into a chart, like we're just really talking about an engulfing bar that moves out of a range and then we come back into that engulfing bar. That's all an imbalance is. So it's good teachings. Yeah, definitely, Raphael. But like trading is a zero-sum game. Every time you're making money, someone on the other side is losing. It's just how it works. That's what trading is. So if you're a godly person, I don't know, you guys tell me, like, maybe that is something God would invent, but I doubt it. All right. Still basing out here. ES still at that key level. Still rejecting. We just went over it on SPY. It's still rejecting those levels on the SPY, but it's still holding VWAP until it lets go. We stay in this chop. Still in the opening range right now. Once this starts to let go, maybe there's a bigger move in the market. Who knows? It can just keep absorbing as well. ES back down to VWAP again. Are they going to let go of this? Do they finally want to be like, hey, let's go back down towards the overnight lows? Buyer on the tape here at 75. Not a lot of size though. Market just moving sideways still until we let go. When we start letting go, this could be fun. Here's the orb low now. If they start letting go of this, this could be a little bit more fun. If they start letting go previous day low on the ES and we have this H1, H4 starting to build out, could be a little bit more fun. I've got a little piece on this now. I want to see if the trend line will break now. Looking for a break of 60s, then a break of 50s, then a move into 40s, basically 38s, then a dump underneath that. All those things would be fun. Need to see continuation though. Don't want it to trade back inside the orb. Here's previous day low again on the ES. Same here on the QQQ and the SPY. All right, so we're at previous day low on the ETFs. You need continuation under this for this market to stay heavy. If they fail to get continuation under it, it will be a problem. So far, finding a bid on the ETFs at previous day low. You need to stay heavy under it. Why? Because then every single buyer from yesterday is out of the money. Right? If we sweep this and turn inside, it's a bullish kind of sentiment. You can see it on the ETS, ES as well. Underneath it again, trading back inside. They need to stay heavy here. They have to stay heavy here for continuation. Bang, there we go. Back down towards trend line. Can we get some follow through for once today? Are we going to get any follow through for once today? Holding trend line for now. Are these bulls exhausted enough? Still holding trend line for now. Finding a bid in front of 60. Remember, we're looking for 60s to fail, then 50s to fail, then down to previous day low. That's initial balance down there. If we're going to protect the initial balance, it will be a problem for this kind of trade. Remember, a trend day will be outside of initial balance. We do have demand underneath initial balance right now, and ES is back to previous day low again and finding a bid. This is not what you want to see. VIX is still not pumping either, so manage your position here, I would say, basically. You want the orb to stay heavy. Failing to stay heavy versus 80, problem. Market's still all red. Microsoft gone back red again now as well. What are you doing, market? Can you just do some follow through? 2 days without follow through is getting boring. No upside, no downside follow through. Come on, market. Come on, market. Let go. Let go now. Previous day low. Looking for a new low here on ES just to prove it that it wants to go lower. Come on, market. Previous day low again. Q's underneath previous day low. SPY just balancing on it right now. You need to see a lower low produced on the spiders. If they don't do it, they can just trap and go back upside. It would be really shitty, really boring to see that again. It means we're just going to go an inside bar all day long. We're watching this H1 to see if it will offer expansion lower right now. Look at the H1 bar. Think about what I said maybe, I don't know, probably 50 minutes ago now. I want a long wick and a big body all the way down. We're starting to see it. Here's trend line. Still holding on to this. Looking for expansion lower now. Don't hold this trend line. For God's sake, just let this thing go. Come on, market. What a bore. Come on. Looking good here. Need all pops to start failing now. This white line is trend line, looking for all pops to start failing now. Need the opening range and previous day low on ES to stay heavy if I'm going to think about holding this any longer. I've taken partials into that trend line because it's held it all day long so far. So here's the orb again. Still an inside bar, remember, until we're outside of previous day low, we're still an inside bar. On the daily I'm talking about. That's why this previous day low on these ETFs are key. So you can see SPY already inside of that previous day low. QQQ still outside of it, just about. VIX not pushing. I want to see VIX push. I want to see VIX back above previous day high and start to get back above 19. This is better though. Come on, market. Can we please get some follow through here today? Microsoft gone back green. I need to take my jumper off. I feel like I'm going to rip my shoulder off if I do it. Looking for a break of the initial balance low of the low of day to get us down to previous day low, and a break of that to get us back into the Asia, or was it Asia, bottom of Asia, bottom of London, sorry. If we keep protecting this, you cannot be risk on, as in you can't be looking for the short. If we keep protecting this, if we stay heavy up here, you're okay, but you do not want to see this trade, back above 80s again. It's had numerous chances to do this. VIX is really not helping here. I'm a bit concerned about options at the moment. Are they just burning options? Is this why we're not going to get follow through? The H1 is looking better. This is what I want to see on the H1. If you flick over to an H1 bar, you'll see exactly what I talked about earlier. Yes, reclaiming. If pops don't fail, we go back inside. We go inside the chop, back inside the opening range. And I will not be trading that again. This would be the same thing as earlier. Looking for the move down, and it's not happening. Have to respect what we're seeing. I do just see some news suddenly hit the wire. What's going on here? Trump targets billions in energy grants. No, I just saw some more other news. Where has that gone? Oh, I'm going to take this off. Okay, still holding that trend line for now. There's that tap of 80s that we just talked about. It's the opening range retest. The hardest thing here is the VIX. I'm not liking what I'm seeing on the VIX right now. VIX trading back down towards the low of day. It's not what you want to see if you're looking for shorts. ES reclaiming VWAP now. SPY to VWAP now. All right, this is not looking good for any more shorts. I'm out of this now. I've had, 2-3 attempts at this kind of trade now. Probably will go after it's completely exhausted me. But trying to respect everything in front of me, managing my risk. If it's not going to go, it's not going to go. Cannot force your way into this. If it doesn't want to break down, it doesn't want to break down. We are pathetic, tiny little participants in this market. If whales want to keep absorbing it, they will keep absorbing it. There you go. There's the reclaim. Numerous times I've been up good money today and probably not taking it. Back to lower time frame algo, back to flow zones, inside the opening range. Not an ideal location now. Back to VWAP, back to New York Open. Look at that squeeze, all off a trend line. Apparently, if you follow RCT, trend lines don't work. Just saying. Looks like they're working pretty well to me. Pretty good, I would say. Okay, back to the opening range low. I'm not having another attempt at this right now. Don't want to give back to this market. I need to see continuation underneath previous day low, or I'm not really interested anymore. It's had enough chances to do it. If it's not going to do it, we are still an inside bar, failing to break out underneath previous day lows after sweeping it overnight. We're inside the orb, we're inside the IB, we're flat on the day. Not going to force my way into it. I am not going to become the liquidity if this wants to rip higher. All right, this has got to show me that it's ready to go down. I've had 2 attempts. It will have to show me. Otherwise, shorts will get stuck at the low of day again, and we go back to the opening range, and they try and use their stops to break out. QQQ to VWAP here. I'll give you a readout. Tesla 3% down, Nvidia 1.62% down, Meta 1.5% down, Google 0.5% down. All right, give it all back. Microsoft 3% down, Apple 0.5% down. Microsoft the only one green, 0.09% green. All right. This feels, like I said, numerous times today, like an option burn into OPEX. Lower day here on the VIX. Like I said, that was the clue. VIX did not want to get going. That was the clue. Not touching this short. No way. It's had the chance to do it. It can't do it. They're just going to burn options for the next day or two. ES back to supply. SPY back to supply. If it starts reclaiming these highs, it's probably trapped enough shorts. We're making lower highs and higher lows since the open on a 5-minute chart, or at least since that pivot on SPY. Probably similar here on the Qs. Where's the open? Higher low, lower high. There. Here it's going to build liquidity until it's ready to do one of these. Don't get frustrated. Manage your risk. Let everyone else get trapped. Trade when it's out of the range. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Yeah. The thing is that I missed earlier is on the SPY. All right, we sweat previous day low twice now. On the QQQ, we also did it. This green line, we also did it. So there's divergence versus like the NQ. You can see QQQ swept. The NQ, let's do M so it's on the right one. Didn't sweep. Yeah, so we've got divergence between the Qs and the NQ. So I'm basically flat on the day. Should have taken profit twice. You can see here. All right, that's my P&L on the day. These are all PAs. Like I said, I'm only going to trade one and small size because I'm in pain. I've probably had the opportunity of locking in $600-700 at least today. All right, back to New York Open. Nothing's changed. We're literally where we opened the day. Nothing has changed. We're in the midpoint of the opening range. We're the midpoint of the initial balance. And 0 things have changed here. I'm going to give this 15 more minutes. I'm going to get off early. Unless something sets up, I'm going to get off early. If it goes without me on a day like today, I don't mind. Oh, not even 300. I'm up way under that. Could have locked in, like numerous times I could have locked in for much more. Was looking for the deeper move. Didn't give it. It's okay. $300's good, Russell. Market like this. See money, take money environment. You're doing well to do that. Okay, VIX is still at the lows of day now, 1850s. Not produced a higher high here yet on the ES. Back into or near that level of supply on the spiders. I'd say 586.25 up to 586. Let's just call it 50 is key. Gets through that, sets a higher low up there, then that inverted head and shoulders possibly plays out for that gap fill. The problem is right now it's got draws on liquidity both sides. It's got that gap fill potential, especially on the SPY, less so on the NQ. Maybe on the NQ, but it's hard to imagine that when you're looking at the MAG, which are all down significantly. Significantly. What I'd say for bears is if we keep staying up here, if we reclaim range above previous day point of control, if we stay up here for too long, bears are going to be in trouble. They can, because it's going to allow the Bollinger Bands to keep opening higher and higher and higher. The 5 day is going to catch up, and then bulls have something to risk off. And they can come in with a new money long at the highs then with enough bears caught. Their intention is just to pump all the way up to all-time highs without a pullback. The bears will need failure soon in the next session or two. What did I just say? 86.25 up to 86.50 is supply on SPY. We hit 86.35, sold straight back down to view up again. The chop continues, folks. Day 2 of chop. It's actually very unusual to see a huge grind, a big gap and go on Monday, a big grind day on Tuesday, an inside choppy day yesterday, and another inside choppy day today. It's actually not that usual if you look at stats based on like, you know, range being 1,200 plus points on a gap and go. It's very unusual, but it's what the market's doing. We're in unusual territories right now, given what's going on in the world. If they fail this now, I'm going to be absolutely exhausted from it. Like I said, it will probably go without me. Really? Really? Previous day low again here on the ES being checked. Microsoft now gone red. SPY back to supply again. Midpoint of initial balance here, midpoint of opening range here, sat at VWAP, which is flat, sat at the New York Open. Zero to do right now. No momentum in this market right now. It's just choppy. All right, 8 more minutes. If we're not outside of this range in the next 8 minutes, I'm getting out of it. I'm just catching up with chat here. Sorry to hear that, Tyson. Good discipline getting off. Yes, between 892 and 900. 92, 900. Yeah, pretty much. Have I been to Lebanon? No, I haven't actually. I'd love to go. But all my family left there many, many years ago. Moved to Cairo, and now they're in Rome. Well, other than my aunt. Still choppy. Nice work, Aintas. 500 is still good. It's not bad at all. Market's building. Looks like it might trap those shorts at those lows. It's still holding previous day low. We're still an inside bar. Remember, all the time, try and get this in your head all the time, traders. When we're an inside bar, you expect choppy action. All right. When you're an inside daily bar, you expect choppy action. Failed breakouts and trends come when we're outside bars, not inside bars. Exactly. Very, very choppy. So testing back up to the upside right now. Maybe ES is going to go for that gap fill like we talked about. It got very close earlier and left it open. Jeez, man. I'm really sorry, folks. I'm in so much pain. It's hard to like even focus right here. You can probably see it in my eyes. My eyes feel bloodshot from it. All right, squeezing up here. That inverted head and shoulders or quasi looks like it's starting to build out. The question is, does ES get acceptance over 900 for the squeeze back to IB high? If it goes through IB high, maybe it goes to PDC and fills that gap. We're still at 86.45s on the SPY. 86.50 was where I had sort of supply drawn out. If it can get through that and base, the squeeze has potential. VIX is right now underneath PDC. If it's going to get follow through downside, it's going to have to trade down to 18's lows, and that will cause a squeeze in this market. Definitely can't be looking for shorts up here, like I said. It's either going to break down or it's not, and it's not so far, so respect it. Opening range high right now, sort of 39. Initial balance, 46s. we get through initial balance, maybe it's going to go for gap fill. Gap fill will, or for cash, will take you up to 21,391. Again, all of the market red other than Microsoft. Microsoft 0.05% up. The rest of the market red. What did you do to your shoulder, Ken? Oh, shoulder pain's just the worst, isn't it? I need a piano key putting in on the back, the one that goes like that and holds the ligaments and rotator cuff down. It's gone and shattered. And I don't know what else I've done. I wouldn't be surprised if I've got a bit of a slip disc or bulging disc. But that's what happens when you play men's rugby underage, playing back in a time when that was allowed. Wouldn't get away with that now. I was playing under 18s at 14. Not a good idea. And it just got worse and worse and worse. That's what I wanted to do as a career. I wanted to be a rugby player, so I would have done anything. I was the only one, pretty much, out of my year group who didn't make it. Lots of my friends, well, they're now retired. They've all been retiring in the last few years. So here we go. 900 is being tested here on the ES. I said, I do not want to buy in supply. I will sit this out. Even if it goes for a squeeze, I would rather it really proves to me and gets outside the range and on the hourly and daily, breaks out, retests, and gives me a buy opportunity. I'm not looking to buy into supply. Right, just keep looking at this. I'm not looking to buy into where these lot are stuck. Right, no way. I'm just not going to do that. It goes against everything I trade. All right, I'd rather see this, or at least build out up here for a bit for a continuation. Now, no way I'm buying into this because you are at risk of this happening. Those buyers yesterday are definitely stuck up there. I do not want to buy into here and become stuck with them for a rotation. I'd rather wait, even if it means waiting for tomorrow for that move. All right, because we're in a big range here. Failed this side and we failed this side. This is the range from the last few days. You can see it. Very clear. This is why it's choppy and choppy. There might be a trade if we get outside. There might be a trade if we get under. I'm not going to participate in here. I'm going to be disciplined and wait. Not every day is going to be a trading day. I've had 2 or 3 attempts at what I wanted to see was this H1 bar, leave that high wick with a big body like this. And then the next H1 bar come up and then leave a big body like this. That would have been beautiful, but it didn't do it. So I'm going to respect that. It hasn't done it. SPY reclaiming that level now. Back tested 56.50, held it. Looks like it wants to squeeze. VIX still trading at low of day. Maybe a SPY going to go for that gap fill. If you want to play this, that's fine. Like, you can play your own way. It's just for me, I just don't want to trade into a level where I think they're stuck. So initial balance high coming here. New lower day on the VIX. Market should try and squeeze. 900's clearly key on the ES. Just dancing around there. They can't get through it, and they can't get up to that IB. They can't close the gap. But it should want to do it, given what the VIX is doing right now. 1850 now on the VIX. A couple more minutes just because we're near the IB. Just want to see how we act when we get up here. If we're going to close the gap and then fail, or if we're actually going to do something. So IB about to be taken here on the Qs. Above the IB, you are in danger of a fail breakout. This will be the first test of the previous day point of control if we get up here. And if we get through that, then you'd be looking for that liquidity probably at 57 and then 72s. I'd be very cautious about holding long beyond 72 full size at least. New low of day again on the VIX. The market looks like it wants gap fill. It looks like it wants to be efficient. Which is amazing given the heaviness in the mag right now. Microsoft the only one green. Maybe Google can close a gap. Maybe Apple. Google did close it already and found a sell from there. So be very cautious of fail breakouts at highs today. Same as yesterday. We're in a range until it breaks out, pulls back and holds. ES now through it. It's trying to trade up to its gap fill. It's very, very close on the ES. You'd imagine NQ would do the same thing. VIX getting absolutely tanked. And by the way, the mag not participating with this. So again, I would say most of this is just like the options driving all of this. I'm not a true believer in this move right now, looking at the mag. Like I said, you can't fight the tape. I had a go at their short, I think twice, maybe 3 times. Didn't take my money when I could have. Locked in some green, tiny, tiny green. And that's it. Don't want, for me personally, these, I don't get long in these for this reason. Maybe should have been, or maybe if I was at my desk, would have been getting long here this morning for London. This makes sense. For me, this makes sense as a long failed breakout. Why? I haven't got the patience for you today. Fail breakout, reclaim. This is probably a long, but once we get into here, very hard without this in a New York session to think about a long for me, just in terms of my model. But if we get up here now and we start to base out here, the squeeze is possible to go high, but you need to see the mag participating. They are not participating right now. ES closed the gap there. Q's not quite at a gap fill close. I've just moved supply accidentally on NinjaTrader. Let's put this back. There we go. So gap fill on the Qs will be for a trade up to 392. ES has already done it. SPY has not done it yet. QQQ has not done it yet. They're not quite filled the gap yet on the NQ. If we're going to get a fail break, ES has filled its gap, though. I will say that. Imagine NQ will want to do the same. It's that close. It's not really that far away, but Let's see. There is liquidity up there if it wants to go for it. Again, I'm not going to play long in this. I think it's, even though it's probable, for me, it just doesn't fit my model and what I'm looking for. But you are seeing flow zones start to expand. We are above the initial balance. We are above the opening range. We are bullish overall. If we get outside bar on the daily, there is more potential. And Microsoft, the only one green. Watching to see if ES builds a flag up here above the IB. And if it can get above PDC. Where's PDH on the ES? All the way up at 925s. There is resting liquidity. I'd say 16s and 17s would be the first stop if it's really going to get going. Again, just make sure you're zooming out. Understand where you are. The only thing I'd say is that London did that failed breakdown. We talked about it in Discord, but I way prefer that move when it happens in New York. So having to trust London traders of low volume on a failed breakdown is very hard to do for me. SPY still not filled its gap. Cash not filled. Only on ES. ES is the only one that's filled so far. Yeah, next target would be PDH if it can go on ES. But if you're long in this already, I'll be looking at those highs at like 1650, 1775, 21s, and then PDH. Yeah, it's trying to build a 5-minute on top of IB. It looks very good right now. Could be an AMD, right? All the consolidation now manipulation from real move lower. Adam, yeah, the bigger question, I don't disagree. The bigger question is, was that London move at the lows the spring the other way? That was the one question I had, but normally I don't like that when it happens in London because it means it didn't happen on cash. All right, so this didn't happen on cash, but if you think about this, this could be the spring for this way as well. But yeah, I don't disagree with you because if you look at this on SPY, it hasn't done it, or has it? No, not really. Well, it did back test. It's pre-market, so cash didn't trade it, but pre-market did. It's not ideal when we see those moves without cash traders and without volume. It's when I find it harder to trust. But like today, it's doing it, so it is what it is. Use the bathroom here. I'll come right back. If you're long, you're looking for a move to PDC. Okay, still going here. SPY now has closed its gap, by the way. You're looking at the spiders, they've now closed the gap. MAG still all red other than Microsoft. All right, so Tesla 2.76% down, Nvidia 1.09% down, Meta 1.29% down, Google 0.13% down, Amazon 2.68% down, Apple 0.25% down, Microsoft 0.33% up. It's the only one up. Everything else down. We have still not closed the gap here on the NQ. Coming into value area high and gap fill, which is right here. It's going to be efficient. It should just go and close it. But we have closed it on the other markets now, on the other indexes. You are now technically, even you're inside, but you're technically have two options here. Honestly, sometimes you're trading view, I'm gonna snap. Why can't they just fix it? This is possible versus these levels here. If you get a failed auction, this is possible here. Failed auction will be better if we sweep liquidity first, because then it's got less reason to go upside. This is what I was talking about earlier. If you remember on ES when we were up here and we looked at that first short, maybe it was a short here. I can't remember where it was, but what are you doing, TradingView? I was saying that ES would feel better if it closed the gap before it looked for the short, because then it has less reason to go higher. And this is the problem when we leave liquidity both sides. Up it goes. So if you're in this long, you do it really good. Like I said, I can't trade it. It goes against what I want to trade. I don't want to trade into supply, but you know, it's working out for you. If you're in it and it fits your model, that's great. It's just different ways of trading. Like I said, it's probable to get up here, and if it gets up there, then your next target's up here. If we get through that and we break out and we pull back, I'll look for longs. If we go and take the daily high and fail, then I'll look for shorts. But still pumping here. ES still going. ES about to start taking some of those liquidity levels. So if you're in ES, be looking for liquidity into 16s, 17s, 20s, 25s. MAG's still not joining in. It's like kind of nuts, to be honest. When you see moves like this without a MAG participating, it is kind of nuts. PDC, did we tap it there? Got very close. I think we were a tick short. Point short. Not filled it yet. Still got more to go. You want to say previous day high is going to get run here. This is very aggressive. All these shorts got cooked. New lower day on the VIX. Like I said, VIX was probably the clue in this. PDH coming, you would think, and Globex. Again, you can't short against this momentum. Big, strong, powerful momentum. That's what we said. We need a breakdown here to add on. Sorry, under here. We didn't get it. And now they trapped everyone who refused to see this. Okay, and then we started breaking out, and now it's gone straight upside. All these shorts probably adding in instead of just saying, hey, market's not going to do it. I'm not going to fight it. Everyone looking for the same thing, I think. Very crowded. Everyone was looking for that deeper pullback today. Didn't get it, and they've probably added into their pain rather than just admitting it doesn't want to do it. Market has now been efficient. Question is, does it now want to run swing shorts out of the market here? And at that point, do we start to fail, or do we start to build for a new move higher? You know, if we close high today, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 green days already straight up. So if we close higher, at least the market's moving a bit. At least it's moving a bit. Something to watch. Did any of you get this long? Any of it in it from like an opening range break or maybe the VWAP reclaim? I don't know. IB high break. Hopefully some of you are in it. It's not what I like to trade, but it doesn't mean you guys can't. Lots of sellers on the book here. 425's biggest order right now is all the way up at 500, but he's only a 64 lot. But he is up there. Every time I move my head, it absolutely kills. Nice, Ramus. What did you take? The IB break? Or the inverse head and shoulders, maybe? Or maybe just the buy signal here? Very nice. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I just didn't want to buy into supply, but hey, it is what it is. I didn't trust it with the mag. I still don't trust it with the mag. I still don't trust it with the mag. Mag's still all green, all red, other than Microsoft. So 60% of the NQ market is still red, right? Technically, we've closed the gap. They should be flat, at least. They're not. So that's why it's hard to trust. Nice, Tyson. Previous day high feels like next target. Feels like obvious target where it's trying to go now. But this is where everyone was trapped from yesterday, but we're now, as you can see, value area high and previous day close. Yellow line, previous day close. Previous day high is up here. It's the only thing, it's the only fruit left to go for. Only thing left to go for is here. It's the only thing left. Nothing else to go for other than that. You can see we've now moved into bullish momentum. IB breakout, nice work, guys. Nice work. You're up like 50 odd points or so. So I'm so fidgety. I'm just in that much pain. I don't know what to do with myself. Got it from VWAP. Wow, what a trade. Great trade from that buy signal from VWAP. Very nice. Looks good. Looks good for previous day high here. VIX coming down towards previous day low. Yeah, I'm going to get some rest shortly. Probably, if I did rolled my shoulder into the mic, you'd probably hear the bone rotating. It's that bad. Nice. All right, Globex coming up. Previous day high above that. Stop run above that. Who knows how far it goes? Because now we're running all the previous day stops. Okay, so previous day high about to get taken across the indexes. You can see a big squeeze, big stop run. Make sure you're paying yourself into this. Next level really is just 500. And that's just based on the tape, right? Not based on anything else. So next level is 500. Make sure you're paying yourself into this move, please. You cannot force a short against this. This is strong buying, strong momentum going upside. Flow zone suddenly built a trend once we trapped enough under here, and it's gone. ES still has a previous day high to hit. SPY still has previous day high to hit. This is top range of supply. We just swept it all. So everyone who was short from yesterday is now out the money. Right, so it's done the opposite of what I wanted to see at the lows. We've gone and done the opposite. We never took previous day low on the NQ. We protected it. We took it in London, but we never took it in New York session. We did take it on the cash. We did take it on the ES, and then we went upside. So you had divergence on that low. And now we've swept everyone out from yesterday. They're all out the money. And we're still an inside day until we base and get above previous day high. All right, you're still an inside day until we get above it. You've been very, very extended in this move, like pretty much straight up. So please be sensible and pay yourself a little bit of money. You need to expect some deep pullbacks. I can pull back aggressively here after sweeping everyone else. So just be smart. Be sensible. If you got long in this, you should have been paying yourself on the way up. Your targets were PDC, Globex, and PDH. All right, so you've hit them all. The only thing left now is like a runner for an extension to 500 or something. And to do that, I would say you'd need the mag to start participating, which it still is not participating in. Tesla, 2.5% down. Nvidia, 0.90% down. Meta, 1.25% down. Amazon, 3.20% down. Apple has just gone green and Google has just gone green. So if they're going to find a bid, it will help you. Big if. Remember, them going green is them closing their gap, which is what you've just done here on the Qs. If they're going to find a bid, it will help you. But it can afford a deeper pullback here. All right, it can afford to come back into here if it really wants, and then do this move. If it fails under here, this will become excess, and we go back into range again. We can go back into range here. If we look left, all of yesterday, we spent all this time here. All right, we can still do the same here. If it ranges here for the rest of the day, it is actually setting up that move for tomorrow then. All right, if we base here all day, then we have nice liquidity to use for this break, either later today or tomorrow. Market unwilling to break down. We have to respect that. You would have seen me today try it a few times. It's unwilling to do the move. You have to respect it. Old me would have been like, no, I'm fighting this short, which is what everyone here did and got blown out. Again, have not changed my P&L since those couple attempts this morning. That's it. That's all I've got. I never fight the tape. Back in my old days, I would have started fighting the tape. I will not fight the tape nowadays. No chance. How far down does this want to come now? Still inside a range, remember, like we said, we took previous day high, but we're still inside of previous day high right now. You're starting to see sell momentum come in. You're starting to see VIX try and find a bid. If they can build like an inverse head and shoulder here or something like that, then there's potential to go back higher again. If they can't build an inverse head and shoulder, then we're just going to fail and go back into the range, and it would have just swept both sides. So it would have done a sweep of the lows to come back and sweep the highs. Both those things are possible in this market. If we break out of the highs, I'd say, just a psychological number of 500, but nothing else to do, nothing to see. Back to the flow zones here. There isn't much structure here until we get back to initial balance right now. So they'd need to build some out. ES can afford to come all the way back down to PDC. We're already under PDC. We're already under it right now. Again, MAG not participating in this move, not together. This could have just been a squeeze to go lower if it really wants, if it really wants. I doubt it, but I have seen weirder things in the market than take one side, go to the other side, take the other side. Remember, we left previous day low in the New York session in NQ. We left it. We did not take it yet. Just remember that. I would imagine the ES still wants to move higher to try and take out previous day high. But if you start seeing lower lows, lower highs here, you got to be careful. We can afford a two-leg pullback like we always talk about. Once we rinse someone out, you'd expect two-leg pullback. But let's just see what this market does. Do they start finding a bid on flow zones? Can afford a deeper pullback. If they start finding a bid here or a two-leg, you can think about joining for that breakout move if it really proves itself. Starting to look good here. I've been joining this tiny bit, tiny in the flow zones. I still think it needs to do a two-leg, but it looks a bit squeezy on the volume. Nice. I'm not going to add in too much just because my brain is not fully with it today. It needs to hold 400 here. 400, take out previous day high, squeeze up to 500 would be nice. Beautiful. I want to see it squeeze through PDH and Globex here again. I want to see the MAG participate. Apple trying to hold its green. 410s here. Need to get through, what was this transition high? 414s. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nice dip on flow zones holding. I'm in from 39s here. 39s, 390s. Shows I can't read. Needs to hold, otherwise I'm out. Don't want to get lower low here. If this is lower high, lower low, not interested. Already scalped some out there. I've got to pay myself because I haven't paid myself a few times today. So already locked in there a bit more money. Let's see if they hold 400s and PDC. Failure to do that will be the 2-leg. All right, remember, we have swept. The problem is target was met. If it wants to do a 2-leg, it can do this before rinsing back up. If it can hold here, then it does a shallow one to go back up. The only reason I'm slightly interested in this is that ES hasn't hit PDH, but if that's divergence, it's going to be a problem. But all the time we're holding sort of 400s here, this is possible. Failing in this, I'm not interested. I'd wait for it to come deeper and then do the same move that I'm looking for now. But so far, dips off flow zones and value area high are holding. Good confidence here. Come on, let's keep going then. That last dip held pretty much 400s, 99s. VIX is starting to trade upside. They've got to be careful here. All right, locking in here. The PDC out there on runners can already re-enter. I was trying to hold some runners to go higher. If it does a W here or an inverse head and shoulder, I can get back in, but I'm very aware that this can go very, very deep. Just trying to play momentum for a low-hanging fruit on ES, really, more than anything. But what would be interesting is if ES sweeps previous day low and leaves previous day high, and on NQ, we've swept previous day high, we've left previous day low. All right, so you've got divergence, both sides. That's what we've got right now. Remember, this is top side of supply. It will need to build out left here, a bit like we did here. It will need to build out. We've completed, basically completed the cup, okay? We would need to build a handle either here or up and above, even better, for an extension move on the daily. Failed breakout. I'm not going to long up here without it. This is danger zone. Failed breakouts up there. Needs to build liquidity for me to be interested. Starting to see failures here. Take a little bit heavier. Like I said, I'm flat right now. I was trying to hold a runner for that break. Didn't give it. Took some off into Globex to protect myself. Didn't give it. You want to hear the grindy shoulder? I don't know if you can hear all that. It's bone on bone, basically. Around the AC joint, bone on bone. Yeah, market didn't want me to leave, did it? That's why I said I'd give it to 11 for the IB and the new hour candle, and we did the move. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I wonder if I was more focused, not feeling ill, if I would have, or feeling in pain, if I would have got long there. Probably would have, but whatever. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm also very aware that we're top of the channel here. Where we've just failed is top of the channel. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Got it drawn on NinjaTrader. I haven't got drawn on here. Okay, this expanding channel. Right here. Yep, so we're trading between these right now. Finding some failure there. If we reclaim that, that's dynamic SNR. Those that do Malaysian SNR, that'd be your dynamic SNR reclaim. Wouldn't mind a deep drive down and then a catch. Something to trap more shorts in. I need to see the mag. Mag is not participating. I do not like seeing that. The mag is just not participating. Amazon is heavy. Meta is heavy. Nvidia trying to get some back. Tesla is heavy. Would not want to get rugged up here, that's for sure. It's not a great location to buy without more shorts trapped. So would not want to get rugged on up here. Would not be adding size into this. It's not proved anything to me yet. I had one little go, little size, took some out, stopped the rest break even. We're just above break even. VIX trying to fill its imbalance up to 50s. It can go all the way up to PDC here on VIX. So yeah, 52s all the way up to 62 on the VIX. If we start reclaiming that again, you know, we're just going to go back and forth, back and forth. Nothing's changed. Look at your daily, look at your hourly, make sure you're zoomed out. Okay, what's changed here? Not a lot. Unfortunately, they did the move in London. Very, very annoying. Which is why I didn't fully trust it. There's the sweep of the lows and up. Now we've swept the highs. Do we come back into range? Do we keep waiting here? If we do that move, if we extend and come down, you know what this is, and you know where we can look for a rotation. If we do this move, we're going upside. Momentum's upside, but I'm just do not trust what I'm seeing right now across the board. The breadth is non-existent. Still holding flow zones. Little W trying to form here. Still not breaking out. ES not taking its PDH yet. It's getting a bit jumpy here. I would rather see this move down and then move up at this point. Rather see it move down, wash everyone out, and then move up. SPY right into top level of supply. So we chewed through one level, we're right at the top level. Look at those highs from yesterday on SPY. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've swept one level. I'd say 5 times we're up here on 5-minute bars. Lots of stops up there if it wants to get going, but you do not want to be buying high. It's the one rule I didn't want to do today was buy high. I've had one little attempt for a squeeze. I don't want to buy high here. Easy way to get cooked. But the Qs feel like they want to go higher even without the mag. Google trying to get red to green again. Apple green, Microsoft green, everything else red. Tesla 2.5% down. Nvidia 0.75% down. Meta 1.31% down. Amazon just under 3% down. How long we got left? 25 minutes. I'm going to grab some more coffee and some food here. All right, nothing changed. Same thing. Google now green, Microsoft green, Apple green. Consolidating up here near the highs. I'd rather more bears get trapped in if we were going to go higher. Otherwise, it's going to make it hard to participate. Trump talking at 11:40. Okay, thank you, Raphael. I mean, just be careful if you're holding into that position. If he's about to start talking, anything can happen. He can say anything, as you well know. ES wants to take out previous day high. It's fairly obvious that's what ES wants to do. It hasn't retrapped to get there yet. PDH coming up here again on the NQ. Can it get up there? Who knows? There's PDH tapped again. If you're long in this, you look good to hold. Just watch ES as it trades into PDH. You would not want to be sort of holding too much above that. Got a double top there now, is it? Did it leave that liquidity? ES still not there yet. Should get there soon. Just be careful if Trump's going to start talking here. Lots of supply up here. Lots and lots of supply up here from yesterday. Jimbo's cool flow zones. Should come up right at the top. Flow zone cloud. First one, right at the top. ES still can't get to previous day high. Rest of the market's taking the highs out. Remember, if we can't take it out, or even if we do take it out and we fail inside, we just go back inside the range again, folks. Just think about that. It can be a failed breakout and go back inside the range if it wants to. It can do whatever it wants to do. I just want you to be aware. Some selling up here into this move. Watching ES if it's going to get going. If you're holding this, you can hold a runner for this move, but make sure you paid yourself right into supply here on the ES. You'd expect it to peak out, but I mean, this market will do whatever it wants, right? It will do whatever it wants. Manage your risk. There you go. There's the peak out. ES still going through it. You can try and hold for 500 if it will get going for you. ES getting very close there. I think pretty much tapped it. They're rebuilding above this structure now. So if dips hold now, as long as ES base is above, if dips hold, we get continuation long on a daily. Liquidity now taken on ES and the SPY. So your continuation long now, there you go. All liquidity now taken on the ES. Make sure you're paying yourself. Squeeze continuation here. Daily stops getting ram. Now, if we trade back under PDC or PDH today, you want to be careful because it would be a failed breakout on the daily, but so far it looks good now. You must pay yourself on these moves. Please, please, please make sure you're paying yourself. You should be runners only. It's not really back tested much to prove it can hold yet. Oh. So any back testing here that holds is good. Anything that fails under here, you want to be very careful. We've explored both sides of the range now. I think where we can come. It's got room. On the daily, it's got room now if it really wants to go. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. That's all it's doing. Some selling into 450, 460, 500. It was perfect if you were trading London. I don't think it was perfect if you weren't trading London, really. Well, if you're trading ES, I guess it was. Well, London was beautiful opportunity. All right, ES coming for a back test of PDH here. Oh. 15 minutes left. Really, we need to base above yesterday's range now. You want to see it hold pullbacks like 406, 386, even higher, even better. The higher the pullback it holds, in many ways better because it doesn't let shorts get out. If you're looking for a continuation long. If you're looking for that failure, obviously you want a deeper drive and a rotation and buyers who bought up high to be stuck. But right now, it's not showing you that sort of failure move. I would say it's just looking a bit more squeezy than anything else. Every dip being absorbed so far off PDH on the ES. NQ hasn't really backtested anything yet. Very hard to trust these. Last hourly candle, very, very big. Closing in 10 minutes. You'd want to see the next hour probably pull back and find absorption. Yes, trying to build a flag out up here on the PDH in supply. I'm probably done here, folks. Probably need to go and rest. Couple minutes, 10 minutes left, 12 minutes left. Nothing changed. Flag still being built out. Flow zone still upside, above the initial balance, above previous day high. We're an outside day all the time. It's able to hold those. Low hanging fruits have gone. Anything now is an extension or a trend day if it can build one. But you want to be careful buying up high. You're watching these kind of levels here now. Can it find a bid? Can it find a bid? Oh my God, TradingView. Can it find a bid in here? If it can't find a bid in here, be very careful. This would be a fail breakout. That's possible, especially if that's sharp. Depends how that move looks. Remember, we've taken all the low hanging fruits. They've all been taken now. If you cannot find a bid, you cannot buy it. You need momentum to go back upside. Remember, we've taken daily highs now. If it wants to trap, right? If it's going to trap buyers who have bought breakouts above previous day high, it can rotate hard. Big if. So that's why you want to let it show itself. I'm assuming Trump's still talking as well, and you've got a new hourly candle coming. So trying to find a bid here on PDH above Globex. ES back underneath those levels. Tesla still red, Nvidia still red, Meta still red, Amazon still red, just so you know. Market in a squeeze for sure. This is a big squeeze through these levels up here. Shorts, anyone who was short yesterday is in a lot of pain right now. Anyone who was short this morning where we were trying to get short and did not respect what the chart was saying and instead added into their losers is in a lot of pain right now. Stuck underneath PDH here on the spiders. Sat around it right now on the Qs. Are they going to produce a lower high, lower low here on a lower time frame for a pullback to be absorbed? Can I see a bigger move lower? I mean, I can see everything right now. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. If this is a daily push up to clear out these stops and the next H1 wants to dive down, yeah, potentially. But I mean, you're picking tops right now. You know, if if the next H1 bar is basically going to leave this and a reprice, yeah. But like the big move lower, a huge move lower, won't come until we get underneath here. Why? Won't come until we get underneath here. Right now, momentum's upside. Shorts are trapped in this right now. I think so many shorts were looking for the deep move today. They were looking for that pullback, probably back towards like 21,000, and they didn't get it. So they probably added into it and caused themselves some pain. The one thing I'd be concerned about as a bull is the mag. You know, it's just not what you want to see. Is the mag? You know, Tesla over 2% down, Nvidia over 0.5%. And Nvidia's trying to get back. It's doing well. It's starting to claw back. Meta over 1%, Amazon 2.5%. It's not really what you want to see. You want to see them all in unison. If you're bullish, to drive higher. You want to see them all try and find bids to drive higher. So this PDH on ES is fairly key here. I'd rather, yeah and no. Like I'm watching ES. ES can't get over PDH. I'd rather see it trap more bears in first and then recover. If I'm going to think about a long, I don't want to just buy up high. Because you're in danger of a failed breakout. There's got to build some liquidity, trap more bears in. Otherwise, you know, you're just buying high and hoping. I'm probably not going to trade anything though. I'm not really with it today, folks. I'm juiced up on meds in pain. If I wasn't streaming today, I probably wouldn't have traded at all. There's a reason I only traded one account today. It's probably not advisable for me to take anymore. I added a very small amount more onto it. You can see, like tiny little bit more. Like I'm trading very small size because I know I'm not fully with it. Yeah, I'm gonna speak to the doctor as soon as I get off stream. So pulling back to Globex high here. Stuck at PDH here. Do me a favor. I know I've not been with it today, but if you can smash that like button for me, it'd be appreciated. Back tomorrow, hopefully feeling better for tomorrow. All right, folks, that's it for me. All done. I'm going to call it a day, get some rest, get off the screens. You know what you're looking for this afternoon? Continuation, you probably need some form of bear trap. All right, you'd probably need some form of bear trap, something like this. You'd want these kind of levels to hold. If we get stuck under there, you want to be very careful for rotation to here. If we get stuck under that, all right, if this is just a big, giant liquidity sweep, you want to be really careful back into here. So far, you look bullish. Momentum on multiple timeframes is upside, so just stick with that until it proves otherwise. All right, and then we'll do the same again tomorrow. See how we get on tomorrow. Be safe into close. Remember, lots of options closing this week. Peace and love. Use hard stops. I'll speak to you soon.